Hi Allure, it's Karrueche Tran, and this is my 10-minute beauty routine. All right, we only got 10 minutes, makeup time, let's go. I'm feeling like I wanna use my Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm. I actually found it on TikTok. Everyone was going crazy and I was like, I gotta try that. I prefer to use a wet sponge because it really gets the product onto the skin better. If it's dry, it kind of just sticks into the sponge. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. Like you're not supposed to use a dry sponge. That's like a big no-no. I feel like I've learned from a makeup artist or I could be making that up. Next, let's get into some concealer. I use two concealers. We're gonna start with the base, which is this Jouer High Coverage Liquid Concealer. So this is what I do for my concealer. Go down the nose, just like this. And because it's in on the go look, we're not doing too heavy, we're going light. Just need like one little doot. A little here, just a little bit right there. Sometimes I get red under the nose. It's not too bad today, but we'll do it anyways. All right, so this is the first layer of concealer. I find that this technique of dabbing, tapping, whatever you want to call it, works best because it really will get the product in your skin. But that's the first layer. Next, I'm gonna use this Jouer High Coverage Concealer pen. So I'll go in with this pen, which is a lighter color again, to give it a little bit more highlight. Again, down the nose. Now we are gonna get into some contour. Do the cheeks, under the cheeks, right here, whatever L shape that is. All right, so getting a little bit of color on the brush. And what I've learned is you start from your brow and then you kind of go in and down. And I feel like when you tilt your head back, you can kind of see the shape more, if that makes any sense. Okay. Down the nose. So we're just gonna tap around here, that little L shape, and go across the forehead. You wanna blend out the cheek. I like to go right under the cheekbone and right on top of it. Not too far up, again, because you want to like shape the face. Next, I like to take what's left of the contour on the sponge and I put that on my lids, and that's what I'm gonna use as my shadow. I have no eyeshadow here, no eye palette, nothing. And what that does is that's gonna create an illusion. No, I'm just kidding. That's gonna create just some depth in the eyes, so my face doesn't look too too flat, and that we're still sculpting. Next, we're gonna do some powder, some setting powder. This is Hourglass's Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and it is a must-have. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. I have to have this in my makeup kit. Before we powder, I'm just gonna take my sponge and kind of go under my eyes again, just in case there was any creasing with the concealer. And I'm gonna take my brush Gotta get the forehead because you don't want too shiny of a forehead. Gonna hit these eyes because I also have mainly oily skin. So sometimes the oil comes through the makeup. So I like a little extra setting powder so that when I go about my day, I'm not sweating too much. And let's get this other side. All right, so now we've set the face. We're gonna go again and do a little bit more contour. I'm gonna use Fenty Instant Warmth Bronzer, and I'm gonna take my brush and we're just gonna go over what we did with the contour. So right under the cheek. And go back on the forehead. Right here. And we're gonna go over the eyes again so we can have a little depth and not look so bare. Let's do some mascara. Okay, and this Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara is also one of my favorites. And please don't judge my mascara face. All you girls know exactly what I'm talking about. The mascara face is the ugliest face, but you gotta get it right. Okay, what I like to do, what I've also learned, is starting from the bottom of the lash, close to the lash line, and going up. Okay, there she is. I've got some eyes going. All right, 2 more steps and we're done. I'm not gonna do your typical blush. I'm gonna do a cream blush, also by Fenty. This is amazing. I'm gonna go over the cheeks, not necessarily where I did the contour. The contour is more down here, again, to sculpt. I'm gonna go a little bit higher up to get that cheekbone, that high cheekbone. Another trick too that I use with blush, whether it's like the pinkish color or the more coral, if you want, you can go over your eyeshadow with this. Okay, so I put a little bit on my sponge and just gonna put a little bit in the eyes. Don't know if you can see the difference, but. All right, now last step. I'm gonna take this Urban Decay liner, lightly line the outside of my lips. Not too heavy, not too overlined. I like it to be like exactly on the outside. Okay. I'm gonna use Dior's Lip Maximizer Hyaluronic Lip Plumper. Okay. All right, let's get some gloss going. Gloss just kind of changes everything. Makes you feel good. Okay. Okay, I'm ready to go. All right. There you go. Here is my 10-minute beauty routine. I hope you guys enjoyed.